warmly welcome Mr. Chaitanya Chokkareddy, who's the Chief Product Officer of Ozonetel, a very up and coming. I cannot call it a startup anymore. I think it's one of those big wigs in terms of customer experience. They're just getting started with some of the major unicorns in the country as their customers. Chaitanya, if you can maybe begin with a little bit of background and introduction to Ozonetel and what you do, what you guys have been up to in the last couple of years, and then we'll get started.
Yeah, sure. Hi. Thanks, Ashwin. So, yeah, basically, we started Ozonetel in 2007 with an idea to revolutionize communication. And in that process, we have launched India's first cloud telephony platform, which we call as Cuckoo. This was back in 2009. And then we launched India's first CCaaS cloud agent, again in 2010, 2011. Mostly the focus has been on how do we sort of improve this system of communications using AI and generative technologies that have sort of taken over the world right now. So we've been thinking about this for the past 4 years.
So Chaitanya, are you saying, the technology largely has always been there, but it is just that the market is prime for uptick in such technologies right now? I mean, if you could brief a little bit about what you mean by the product, began at least 4 or 5 years ago, or thinking about it began 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. So basically what I meant is that both the things, like you rightly pointed out, both the things contributed to the fact that the first is technology being ready. When we talk about chatbots, we got robotic systems in place. And if you look at it, most of the chatbots, even now for that matter, are mostly chat forms where you click, and then you sort of give your information. Yeah. So we still have a lot of way to go. I mean, ChatGPT, to be frank, was launched almost 3 years back for the people in the know as an API. We have been playing with it for the last 3 years. But the moment they made it free and added a chat interface rather than an API, then it became mainstream. Now, everybody knows what ChatGPT is. Everybody has used ChatGPT, including my mom and dad who are 70 years old. So everybody has used it. So now AI is mainstream. And that's the huge thing. So both technology has advanced as well as the users are ready. So we are in the perfect storm right now.
One of the first use cases for ChatGPT at scale seems to be customer experience, right? If you can maybe brief or, sort of try and look down or drill down into what this customer experience now entails as compared to before, and how that CX will be improved with AI or generative AI in the next 5 years.
Initially started off, it was just call centers. Then it became contact centers. Then they became cloud contact centers or CCaaS. And now it's CX. And now it's like CX mixed with AI. So, but ultimately, the fundamental core of it is that your communication with the customer. The other piece of it is once you start communicating, let's say you're a big business and you're handling, let us say, 80,000 calls per day. And you sort of figure out easily that, hey, look, out of these 80,000 calls, more than 75,000 of the calls are regular, repetitive calls. It doesn't make any sense. Only 5,000 calls actually are different in a way. So then you sort of start to think like, do I really need to put a human to do this same task again and again? Isn't the human also bored? In fact, call center industry has one of the biggest attrition rates in all industries. It's not because of the pay or anything else. It's just that the job is boring because of generative AI. We think that humans can be freed up to do more exciting tasks than just answer the same old, my router is not working.
And I have also read similar stuff. I mean, whenever I read about generative AI or the area of CX and its future, everybody talks about, whether it is Gartner or Forrester or IDC, everybody talks about cost reduction, right? Reducing the number of people, reducing the number of processes, etc. But I want to spend some time really deep diving and drilling a little bit more into the outcomes that generative AI in the CX area can sort of provide outside of cost.
So it's not about cost. See, even when we talk to our customers, Of course, cost will be reduced. It's again different aspects. To be frank, right, even in contact centers, different stakeholders have different opinions. Support heads look at it as a cost center. Sales heads and marketing heads don't look at it as a cost center. There are multiple pieces here. First is call pick rates. You should know that immediately it should be picked. So that goes out the window now with generative AI. It will be picked. There is no human component. Earlier humans, we had a limitation. If you had 100 agents, the 101st call couldn't be picked. It had to be in a queue. But now with AI, there is no limitation. It's all software. Let us say even now with queues are available. But when you are in queue, why can't it be personalized hold music?
Yes.
Why can't it be the latest Bollywood song that I know you like? And then I play that to you. At least make it happy for you to want to call and listen maybe. I don't know. Third piece, when you actually finally talk to an agent, whether it's a generative agent or whatever, why can't it be like you're talking to your friend and family, or for that matter, a superstar? Why can't it be like you're talking to Amitabh Bachchan? Why shouldn't Amitabh Bachchan answer your query? Which is absolutely possible, especially with the technology now that we have available. I would say hyper-personalization in a way, where we know a lot about you, we know why you are calling, and in fact, chat also, for that matter, all we know, even chat. And then we answer upfront.
Being predictive, being analytical, and essentially ensuring that you are building an ecosystem around the customer. I think CCaaS is high time that we change the word from being a contact center as a service to something bigger, because this relates to everything from revenue to product to EBITDA of a company. Chaitanya, now you mentioned that 2009 was when you made your first solution, Cuckoo, right? And I was reading, I think just before entering this call, that it has handled up to 600 million calls until now. I'm sure that number has grown as well. But Chaitanya, what is it that excites you as the Chief Product Officer today?
So for me, it's the same thing. I mean, what has excited me from the beginning, in fact, which has not changed throughout, is how do we make it faster, easier? It's as simple as that. It could be using AI, it could be using, I don't know, maybe in the future, quantum, for all we know. So it doesn't matter. These are all means to an end. So we are actually looking at bringing our own foundation models. Can we come up with our own foundation models that we can deploy both across India? Why can't it be made in India? So this is another big problem that we are facing right now. All these foundation models are hosted in the US, which is a big problem for contact center and other industries which are regulated. You can't let data out of the country. So that becomes a big problem. How can you use these AI models if they are hosted out of the country? Okay, do we wait for them to bring it into the country? Even if I allow that, that would still go to some other company. How would I make sure that the data of a particular business stays within themselves? So these are some things that we are actually working on right now.
One of the biggest problems we as a country have always had is we never had the right data that was democratized in order to build some of these foundational programs. I guess that is one of the things that will come out of such exercises with more companies like yours wanting to do foundational models from India. One last thing, Chaitanya, that I wanted to ask. A lot of people also have highlighted the idea of possible notes of caution with the use of generative AI in the context of customer experience or the risks associated with it. I'm not largely talking about security itself, but about data privacy. Tomorrow, I know how much you as a team struggle when there is a policy change in the banking world related to a customer process.
All these concerns are absolutely valid. I mean, though there is a lot of optimism with AI, we have to tread with caution. To be frank, these systems are still not ready for the production. There is no question about it. The models right now, they hallucinate a lot. You can't actually control them from speaking in a certain way. That's an unsolved problem yet. The only advice I can give is twofold. One is be careful with your data that you deal with, because as you rightly pointed out, I mean, if I am chatting with a bot, and I know I'm chatting with a bot, with the right kind of a prompt, I can make it give out information of the other chatters also. I can make it give out information about other people. So these kind of issues, and then you will be accountable for that. So these kind of issues are unavoidable right now. You should always be backed up by a human, always have a facility where they can connect to a human. And more importantly, this facility actually can be used at the back end to help your agents. So agent assist is where we look. There the risks are lesser.
Very valid and fair points, all of them, Chaitanya. Hopefully we'll see some of those. We'll see some of those outcomes come out of it, and I'm sure Ozonetel as a company will be at the forefront of it, because I really strongly do believe that we will grow as fast as our digital architecture or backbone of the country grows, and hopefully we will see some of those come out. Chaitanya, again, thank you so much for your time today. And I wish we had more time, more discussions around the same topic, but you are possibly going to go back to your research and spend more time there, better spent there than with me. Thank you so much, Chaitanya.
Thanks, Ashwin. Thanks. It was a pleasure. Yeah.